What's going on, guys? This is the Gainz podcast. We've got my brother-in slash homeboy slash lifting partner via virtual slash co-host. Wait, I'm not technically a co-host. I'm just a guest co-host. And this guy on the other side of the camera is
Romano Cheese.
In this episode, as you can notice, I have the light off behind me. You know, hopefully with 3 computer screens blasting in my face, you guys could see me pretty okay. I love how Roman's backdrop is a white wall. I mean, look, the guy almost blends in.
I can't see. I can see the food that you ate for lunch.
Roman, why do you have spinach, kale, is that black pepper in your teeth?
That's been a yummy salad.
But episode 36, we're more than halfway there to episode 40. Now, if you're not listening by now, or if you've listened in the past, welcome. Your minds, your ears, your eyes, they're going to implode of how much great information we're going to present today. Roman, we are back at it. What are we flipping talking about today, buddy?
Folks, the long-awaited power building program is here. It's arrived at your doorstep today. And for a limited time only, we are bringing you weeks 1 through weeks 4. We're deeming this the resensitization phase. Or if you listen to the Revive Stronger podcast by Steve Hall, he calls it a primer phase. What's a primer phase or a resensitization phase, you might say? It's a period of time where you deliberately use lighter loads and lesser frequencies and or volumes so that you can potentiate future gains by preparing your body for those gains. So essentially what we're doing is we're building a staircase to heaven, folks.
You know what, Roman?
She's climbing the stairway.
Roman,
heaven.
Real quickly, I don't know if you remember. I'm getting nostalgic. I'm having a nostalgic moment right now. Remember what we kind of talked about in like one of the first 10 episodes we've talked about was kind of this. Remember when we were outside, was that the only out? I'm not going to say only out. Remember the outdoor podcast where we were talking about goals, how to set up a goal?
Yeah.
If you think about it, guys, if you're listening since day one, we pretty much almost talked about this, and you didn't even know about it. We didn't even go into it, but you didn't even know about it, and now we're here today, 2020. We're still in June, guys.
I think that was programming principles, wasn't it?
Yeah, but like, you know, we talked about it, like, you know, talked about this phase, the prime phase, without even like explaining what it is, and talked about it a little bit more in depth.
No way.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't talk about it. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, but okay. We kind of brought some aspects of it. So sorry to interrupt. That just happened in my head. This wasn't planned. Roman and I didn't talk about this beforehand, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
I think it falls in line with like progressive overload as a principle, or like 2 principles, if you will, because essentially, like what we're trying to do with this program is the objective of the program is to 1, make you stronger, 2, make you bigger. So we want to make you bigger and stronger, bigger, stronger, faster, essentially.
Sounds like a movie.
Yes, it is a movie. Actually, I only recently saw that. It was pretty interesting. It was weird to see Mark Bell like all chubby and whatnot.
I've seen that movie like, I think like 5 or 6 times.
Okay.
I feel like. Yeah,
it was interesting seeing Mark Bell's brother Chris too. Just be like, you know, little Chris. I don't know. It was just funny. Sad about his brother. But anywho, so those are the main objectives of the program, folks. when you're building out a program, you want to take the principles that we talked about, individuality, progressive, overload. You want to take recovery into mind, et cetera, all those principles head on back to, what was that, episodes 2 and 3, I think.
That was
the
a
Gainz
cold
podcast.
day.
It was, yeah.
You didn't even have a jacket on. You just had the sweatshirt we took pictures with.
You were so upset at the lady that walked in front of the camera.
I don't know if I hope maybe I edited that one out. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think it was quick. You could like barely tell that somebody walked by, but
try to get that free promotion.
Yes. So part of resensitization is a lot of people have been out of working out. They've been working out at home. I've been working out at home, folks, working on them work from home gains. But that being said, the axial loading or the loading on the spine has not been as much. I mean, I picked up Laura a few times. I've squatted her once or twice, but that does not constitute a squat program.
Can I get a hey now?
So, hey now, don't blame it's over. I don't really know how that song goes, but we'll go with it. So what we want to do is we don't want to break you from day one. We want to reintroduce you to the movements. The whole idea behind getting back into these movements was, again, bigger, stronger, okay? So we're going to focus around the squat, bench, deadlift. Those are the main lifts of the movement. You can alter, change out any movements that you want. We'll give you some ideas on what to do to get maximally jacked. But if you want to do some extra work, you're like, hey, I'm really feeling it this week, totally fine. That's totally cool. So when we're talking about getting back into things, are we just going to start right back at 20 sets each and just absolutely demolish ourselves?
Yep.
Nah, we're not doing that.
Burnouts, baby. Chest all day.
So recommending that you start at a relatively low level. So where we're saying about 30% of your 1RM, and we're doing 2 sets of 6. That's all, folks. 2 sets of 6 for squat, bench, deadlift. That's day one. Day one, that's what we're looking at. Okay, folks. So you got to get it. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time. If your local gym or local area requires you to bring a face mask, make sure you bring that face mask. Also bring water. Make sure that they're stocked with sanitation wipes, whatever's going on. Be courteous to your other gym goers. So what I recommend you start with is squats, because squats to me are always the most taxing. This shouldn't be super taxing. It should feel super easy. If you feel like you destroyed yourself by the time you come out of the gym, you might be doing it wrong, because we're just trying to prep the body for this future work that we're building up to. So weeks 1 through 4 are going to be a resensitization phase, and we'll go over what that looks like. Weeks 5 through 8 will be the accumulation phase. So that's where we really start to pack on the weight and add some additional sets so we can get those leggies nice and jacked, get that upper body huge, and get your 1RMs for your squat, your bench, your deadlift, up, break the ceiling, okay? That's the main objective.
And also, side note, if you guys want to comment to see, or comment to show, like, if you've gone to the gym, how's the experience been like? How has it been going back to the gym as a whole? How you're feeling and all that stuff, but keep going, Roman.
Yep. For sure, that would be really valuable information, especially if people like are in like similar areas. That way, that can kind of like prep them for expectations, because expectations are important. So day one, squat, bench, deadlift are the main priority. If that's all you have the time for, that's totally cool. If not, if you have more time, then you can sprinkle in some of the other things that we'll talk about today.
What if you forgot your 1RM, Roman?
That's okay. What you can do?
I mean, it's been 3 months. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I tell all my friends I bench 500.
Yeah.
Should I start 30% or 30% of 500?
That's fine. 150. You can do that. No problem. That'd be a cakewalk for you. I want to start at 135. So.
You know what? I secretly have been. Remember, I told you I've been benching like once, maybe a week at my brother's house. He has a bench, but he only has 45-pound plates. So I can only bench 135.
Nice.
So I've been doing those for a set of 20, to be honest.
Nice. Okay, there we go. So like,
Still got it, baby.
It would look different for you then. For you, I would say if you've been doing 135 and your max is probably like in like the 250 range, would you say? If you were just projected out?
Maybe, yeah. If like, yeah, previous at 100%, yeah, 250.
How does 20 feel? Is that like, are you at like your 20 RM?
I mean, dude, I had like 4 or 5 beers before doing it, so it probably felt worse than I thought, but it probably didn't feel that bad compared to like if I was sober. So.
Yeah, I think you'd probably be at 250. So I'd take 250 as the estimate, and then for bench, I'd actually probably change this. So I'm saying 0.3 for squat and deadlift, but that's just to like minimize the fatigue caused from that. But at 0.3%, that'd be 75 pounds. So you're probably good to do at least 50% or 60% on bench.
I can't even count in plates anymore. I don't even know what 35-pound looks like on a barbell. I know a bar is 45, but holy cow.
It'd be a 10 and 2 5s, or a 10 and a 5 on each side.
I figure it out in a second, but
unless you're like squatting with like a safety squat bar or bench with a safety squat bar, because those things are 65 pounds. I don't know how the hell you do that, but
I don't know either. Sorry.
So all right, you're gonna start with squats. With squats and deads, we're starting at 30% for your first time. You're gonna be doing squats twice a week, deadlifts twice a week, and bench 3 times a week if you can muster it. Boom, 3 times a week, baby. For weeks 1 through 4. Once we get to weeks 4, maybe weeks 5, we're going to drop deadlifts down to 1 time a week because we're going to be closing in on that 1 RM. We're going to be probably between like the 70 to 80% range. So at that point, it's much more systemically taxing, fatiguing to do that. That's when we're going to actually cut the volume for deadlifts, and we're going to maintain like a high volume for squats, at least 2 times per week, and bench is really going to be like the higher to moderate volume, whereas I'd say squats is probably moderate, and then deadlifting is low.
Yeah, deadlifting twice a week. As much as deadlifts are my favorite exercise, I only want to do it once a week.
Yeah.
I can't do it twice. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, and it like gives you something to look forward to. Like, oh man, I can't wait to do deads this week. Yeah, mm-hmm. That was big for us. All right, so day 1, we're looking at 30% of your 1 RM for squats. If you don't know what it is, just pick a conservative estimate. For me, it is 315, 335 for squats. That would be projected. My true 1 RM, the last test I did was 315. So what am I gonna do? I'll probably do like 135. So a little bit higher than that. Obviously, these numbers are flexible, but if you want to stick to them, remember, it should be easy. It should be easy. It should be a breeze. You should blast through it. Deads, I'll probably do 135 also. And for bench, let's say do 50%, because a lot of people my max is my 1 rep max and my 5 rep max are actually the exact same, because I didn't retest my 1 rep max. So
yeah, I remember that you were going to, or you were going to do it eventually, and then
yeah. So I don't know, it's probably 240, 245. So doing half that, I'll probably do 135 when I first get in the gym. If your numbers are similar to mine, feel free to throw those numbers in. So week 1, that's what we're looking at for the first time in the gym. Or for the first session. The second session for bench, I would say add 5%. For deadlift and squat, add 10%. So we're looking at 40%. So week 2, we're going to add 10% again to squats and deads, add 5% again to bench, because bench you're going to be jumping anywhere from 10 to 15% each week. So if you start off at 50%, by the end of week 2, you're already at 70%. So you're already closing in on those numbers. And what I want to see is 2 sets of 6, 2 sets of 6, 2 sets of 6 for each of those, that first session. So overall, week 1, you're looking at 6 total sets of bench. You're looking at 4 total sets of squats, and you're looking at 4 total sets of deadlifts. That's not including like warm up. Like you should just like do the bar as long as like you're strong enough to do that, of course. Then, if your numbers are sounding like mine, I'll probably do like 95 pounds, and then I'll probably do 135 pounds. And we'll have this all down in a spreadsheet for you all, so you can focus on this and see what it looks like. You can even print it out if you want.
Yeah. I was just say, I don't know if you want to mention it again now or later, but yeah, what Roman said, we're gonna have something either in the show notes as we upload this on the Fridays, every Friday that comes out, or we'll put it in we'll put it in our link tree on Instagram, as well as we'll put it in the show notes. So hopefully you guys can just click that from wherever you're at.
Yep. So weeks 2, we're looking at jumping for squats and deadlifts from 50% to 60%, and for bench we're looking at jumping probably like 65% ish. For weeks 3, we're looking to weeks 2, we're also adding a set for each of the sessions. So bench, we're looking at 9 total sets. For deads, we're looking at 6 total sets. For squat, we're looking at 6 total sets. Weeks 3, we're jumping up to 70% on bench, and we're jumping up to 70% on squats and deadlifts. So we're looking at like right at that same amount, and we're keeping that same percentage where we're looking at about like 70% there. The same sets. So we're looking at 9 sets of bench still. We're looking at 6 sets of deadlifts. We're looking at 6 sets of squats. And then for week 4, which will be the final week of the resensitization period, which is going to prime you so that your body is ready for this accumulation phase, where we really ramp up volume to get your body prepared for 1, getting stronger, so you develop those specific strength adaptations that you're looking for, and 2, get your body prepped for growth, because at that point your body's going to be hungry for just growing, for getting huge, as they say.
I like that.
So weeks 4, we're looking at adding in an additional set before the accumulation phase, which will be, once again, weeks 5 through 8, and that will be we're going to be looking at 12 sets of bench. We're going to be looking at 6 sets of squat still, or rather 8 sets of squat, and we're going to be looking at just 4 sets of deadlift at that point. So we're actually going to drop with deadlift, but we're increasing the intensity, and we'll write in like the percentages and the rep scheme that we recommend. Also with like a variant of RPE if you subscribe to RPE. So far, after you've heard this, Antoine, what are you thinking? How are you feeling about this program? Are you stoked for this?
My spine's gonna turn to dust after this. No, it's gonna be, because see, the thing is, Roman and I haven't even gotten to that level. Obviously we're writing something down. Most likely both of us are going to foul this spreadsheet when it comes to the squat, bench, and deadlift. And that's why we wanted to make this series of powerlifting for everyone, obviously focusing on the squat, bench, and deadlift. But, things to note, make sure you're still recording and making sure that you're still allowing yourself to feel. And, yes, Roman and I are robots. We eat, we produce, we eat more, and we sleep for 30 minutes, and then we keep doing the same thing because we're machines. But if you're not a machine, what you want to do is write on your favorite notepad, like for me it's notes on my phone, and you're gonna want to write down every way you feel / how you move that day, what your eating habits were, your engage of sleep. You still want to kind of get those basic thoughts, ideas, as well as motivation into those sessions, because if you don't properly do this, or if you go to ham on what Roman was mentioning, after week 4, you're going to be demolished. You're going to be like, what we mentioned earlier when it comes to max reps to recover, and things like that to push your body. But you will kind of fall apart. So when Roman is mentioning those percentages of sets, the reps, It's one of those where it's more conservative than more aggressive, which is going to allow you to grow into the regular adaptation that you guys and girls were doing before this. You're pushing yourself to the limits. You're trying to build muscle. You're trying to get out of homeostasis when it comes to growing your body within health and fitness. So, in my opinion, I just wanted to add that in there. Like, hey, make sure we're doing all the little things too as well. And then, if you're currently working from home, you know, depending on how you worked out before, or if you work out at home, I think try to maintain the same schedule or at least somewhat like it. I'm not a big believer of make sure you train at a certain time, but if you train later in the day, you get all your food in, you get your rest in. Like, say if you're a sedentary worker and you get to destroy the gym at like 4 or 5 p.m. when you get off of work, then continue to do that. If you do a workout session in the morning or afternoon at lunchtime, it just depends on how you're feeling that day, and just make sure you're recording all that stuff down as well, especially during this 4-week phase.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're only hitting the gym and I'm saying only, this is still really good, for 3 times a week, and you only have an hour per session, don't worry about the accessories, because we have a whole list of accessories that we might not be able to get to on the podcast just because of time constraints, but we'll certainly include that in the Excel doc or the Google Sheets.
I don't even plan I think doing the 4 weeks once I go back to the gym, honestly, I might just do 3 days back in. Yeah. Even if you take a look at it at a whole when it comes to just getting your body back into it, I was 6 or 5. It was 6 days. Yeah, 6 days for me right now. But I might just do 3 days in the gym and then maybe do accessory work at home still, just in the beginning, because me, I was able to handle a 500-pound deadlift, but things get funky during this time. I've never taken 3 months off of squat, bench, and deadlift. I've never done that. I never had a serious injury. So
yeah, no, that's true. So if that's all you have for timing, 1 hour 3 times a week, once again, that's great. Just focus on squat, bench, and deadlift. You can just take that part of the program and you can run with it. Obviously, if you have more time, you want to throw in curls, whatever it is, you can totally do that. We'll give you some options that you can use, and we'll give a shit ton of accessories, because I'm all about accessory work. I love getting into accessory work. I love doing the big 3, but once I'm done, I love getting into accessory work, because I really like doing that bodybuilding aspect of lifting too. That's, I don't know, it's always been something that I've really enjoyed. So I'll definitely be getting after it, folks. So if you want to get after it with us, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, Roman, you said if you have time. I think everyone makes time for curls. From Except 2 minutes to 5 minutes. Yeah. Homeboy is definitely never making time for it, right?
Yeah, no. It's his whole big thing is it's funny because people will people will troll him and they'll be like, "Hey, Mark, is it okay to do curls?" He does Q&As and stuff like that. And I just look at it and yeah, it's okay to do curls. Next. It's dude, if you want to do curls, don't worry about it. It's not going to interrupt. If you're doing 50 sets of curls and you're throwing your back into it, it's your form is totally off. That could probably wreck you, but the biceps, in regards to in relation to let's say the quads or the glutes are such a tiny muscle. So they can recover pretty well. You just get into the issue with doing too much any type of single joint movement exercise. From what I found, whenever I try and crank up the volumes to really try to potentiate gains, is you get joint soreness. It's mostly with my arms. If I try to do too many sets of 5 or 6 sets of tricep overhead extensions, and then 5 or 6 sets of tricep pull downs, and that's after I do bench, incline, and overhead press. like my elbows are trash, but like I also have to tell myself like, dude, you're a freaking idiot. Like that was too much. Like you ramped up volume way too quick. Like slow it down next time.
Yeah, and I'm so ready to start doing like 2 sets, even like 2 sets of 6, even though it's like such a small number. I'm so excited to do that
Yeah.
because I'm tired of doing wall sits with blood flow restricted squats.
Yeah.
Oh my dude, I'm not gonna. I mean, my hamstrings still get a lot of pump, and so do my quads, but it's just like gosh, I don't want to. I don't want to hold. I don't want to sit in the wall for a minute or over a minute and then do these squats that are 20 something sets or 20 something reps.
Yeah. I pretty much wholly switched for like quad work to and I've been kind of doing like my own type of like resensitization just so I can like kind of spend more time doing like hanging out with Laura because I'd spend like 2 hours like 2.5 hours like in the apartment like kind of working out by myself because she's like I can't do like apartment workouts anymore, like I need to go for a bike ride or like just get outside or whatever. She just kind of got sick of it, which is totally cool. But I was spending like an inordinate amount of time doing like the at-home workouts because yeah, I was just like doing a lot of volume, which was fine, like my body could totally take it, but I was kind of getting sick and tired and bored of it. So I pretty much just do like for quads I've just been doing front-loaded Bulgarian split squats.
Which you posted about. So.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're at time, aren't we, buddy?
Yeah. I mean, any last words should we say? We're on this journey with you guys. Like we mentioned halfway through, we're gonna put something together, get an actual program on the board. You can always mess with the numbers. Don't shy away to either lessen or add anything to the numbers, as long as you're acclimated to it, as well as your numbers. Totally fine with Roman and I think. And then just make sure you get out there, like, comment, subscribe, share our page, do whatever you can to get Antoine a darn barbell. Holy cow. I'm tired of mentioning it.
We can come up with a clever hashtag that we can make go viral.
Get Antoine hashtag get Antoine a barbell.
Hashtag where's my barbell?
Hashtag
where's my BB?
Where's my BB?
No, but like the point that I want to hammer home is if it like seems like it's ridiculously easy, it's supposed to seem like it's ridiculously easy. We're prepping you for that hard work coming in the accumulation phase. Like Antoine said, like it's okay to do extra work, but if you feel like you're not like recovering, you're like always sore type deal, then might have pushed it a little too far, and I'd say jump back to like the what the plan says. We'll definitely put in like deloads. I don't think it's probably necessary to get to a deload until maybe like week 9, because like the volume's going to be so low. It's like very, very straightforward to recover from. But like if you're different and you need a deload, meaning just like do even less volume or like even like take some time off to recover, like that's totally fine. Sometimes like you might only be able to eat like, let's say 2 times per day, and even though you're prioritizing your protein and like your carbs for recovery, you might still have like just poor recoverability because you're not getting in enough calories. So like you could be in like a caloric deficit, and if like you're in a prolonged caloric deficit and you are when like you're losing weight, like your pants are like fitting a little looser, like your shirts are fitting like a little looser, your recovery capacity is lowered. So at that point, like if that's the case and you're feeling like you're getting beat up and you're like, dude, these guys are saying like this is resensitization phase, I feel like I'm already in like the peaking phase here. Like it's totally cool. Like remember, like one of the principles that we try to hammer home is individuality. So you're gonna be different. Like you could like hit this and be like, dudes, like this is like awesome, I really like what you like programmed here, but I'm just gonna ride this out for a little bit because like this is like getting me to like the exact amount of like fatigue that I'm looking for the the bang for the buck type deal.
Hell yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, like I said, we'll see you on that next one. Peace.
Peace.